Good morning, sir.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning, sir.
Yeah, good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning, sir.
Okay, so good morning, everyone. I hope you're doing well. So, is the previous class still going on?
No, sir.
Sir, it's going on. Yes.
Sir, we asked sir we told sir that we have a quiz, so he let us go. He said that if someone has doubt,
Only a
please
few
take,
students are there,
otherwise
sir. If anyone has doubts.
everyone
Okay,
has.
anyways, yeah, so since I told earlier, we are going to start quiz sharp at 11. Yeah, so it is your choice if you want to get late. There is no extra time.
Sir, it is 30-minute quiz.
Yeah, it will be 30-minute quiz. Yeah, you are right.
And then 10 marks quiz.
Yeah, 10 marks, 30 minutes.
Okay, sir.
The format will be very similar to last time. So just make sure submit in the given time frame. You need to turn on your camera, right? So please turn on your camera. And so soon, yeah, we are reaching towards the end of the course. I hope you have enjoyed learning, at least in this class. We have tried our best to probably, yeah, so put as much as effort we can put. So I am very thankful to all the TAs. They have definitely done a great job helping you guys in the tutorial, also in different ways. And the same efforts we all guys have put in order to probably make your experience for the first course you are taking in IIIT Delhi a good one. So I hope it is good, right? Or is it not?
It is good, sir.
Yes, yes.
It is
It
good.
was really nice.
Very good. Okay, that's great. So that's good to hear. So anyways, whatever the feedback you have, yeah, so, okay, so thanks for highlighting this. So you can see my screen, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, great. So I believe in number of tutorials that we have done earlier. So our wonderful TAs has already covered at least some part of this, like what is low fidelity, what is high fidelity, what is vertical and horizontal, and so on. And at least in some of our earlier classes as well, we briefly discussed them. So what is a prototype? So prototype is basically a kind of one manifestation of the design that allow stakeholder to interact with it, right? So how you can interact with the stakeholders? You need to provide something, right? So that prototype, that is something called prototype. Again, it is up to the designer how much interaction you can allow, the stakeholder to interact with your system. So depends on the scale, depends on the probably all type of interaction you can do, you can create a prototype. So in basically kind of further design field, so prototype is usually like a small scale models. For example, if it is a car, then probably you can create a miniature car before. Similarly, you can build a kind of miniature building or town before while planning or while designing the building or probably the town, right? So prototype, you can say it's kind of miniature outcome of the whole product that you're planning. So it could be a website, it could be equipment, depends on how much flexibility you can do. So often in the prototype, it need not necessarily has to be a very working system. It may have probably some simulation, it may have some part which are which are probably doing right now, you're doing manually, or it may be rule based, just to show what is the capability it can have, what are the feature it may have. So it's kind of dummy system. It's kind of dummy system which at least give a sense of how the system is going to work. So 3D printing is the example that you have that you are aware of. So for example, in this case, it could be spider dress, something you can do. Similarly, you can do for teddy bear and many other stuff. So what is a prototyping in interaction design? So in interaction design, you can see a number of prototypes. So it could be a series of screen sketches, like, so how what will be the launch, for example, in case of website, how the launch page will look like, how it will navigate to the different other feature that is giving. So for example, if it is e-commerce website, then after the launch, on the launch, you can show these are the cell which is happening, probably these are the categories which are there. So once you click probably the cell, you'll go to the probably other page where basically you should provide other additional details and so on. Similarly, a storyboard, for example, a cartoon like series of scenes where how the different sequence of events are happening, and how you can basically illustrate that through the storyboarding and so on. So similarly, you can do through PowerPoint slide, you can probably create some video. It could be probably some kind of lump of wood or some kind of palm pilot. Similarly, you can do some kind of cardboard type of mock-up or probably the prototyping to show how the whole the system will interact. Even it could be a small basically a piece of software which have probably limited functionality, written in even it could be same or probably other languages. It could be same or probably other languages of the target software that you are willing to build. So it's kind of, I mean, your idea is how the system may be look like. Can we make a kind of small system that will illustrate in the future, if you're coming with such kind of prototyping, it will help you. Anyone want to answer how this prototyping will help us? Yes.
Sorry to disturb you, sir. Sir, but my internet is gone from my submission, so that I cannot submit my quiz.
Sorry, we cannot help you at the moment. Please discuss after the class. Okay, sir, thanks.
Sir, 2 मिनट के लिए सर खोल दो सर.
यार ऐसे थोड़ी होता है यार, ये मजाक थोड़ी है, राइट?
सर इंटरनेट इशू था सर.
नहीं, इंटरनेट इशू था तो 10 मिनट बाद कहाँ से आ रहे हो, राइट?
सर अभी आया ना सर, अभी आया नेट, इसलिए आया हूँ.
I mean, yeah, it doesn't work like this, so I don't know what to do because.
सर 2 मिनट के लिए खोल दो सर. अभी मतलब सारे आंसर तो आते ही है मेरे को, मतलब सबमिट कर दूंगा अभी.
यार वही है ना, फिर हर बार अभी अलाउ करूंगा, फिर नेक्स्ट टाइम आई मीन देयर 5 more people will come like this, so this is not acceptable यार, सॉरी.
सर नेक्स्ट टाइम नहीं होगा सर, पक्का.
नहीं, नेक्स्ट टाइम तुम नहीं करोगे, बाकी लोग करेंगे, राइट?
सर प्लीज सर कंसीडर कर लो.
No, we cannot consider. What we'll do, I mean, we will conduct a kind of interview for you, and accordingly we'll grade. So we are not going to open the test again. Thanks. And there is no need to further argue or discuss. So what we can do, just in order to help you, we can conduct an interview for you, and accordingly we'll grade you. Thanks.
सर लास्ट क्लास के लास्ट में सर आप 2 मिनट के लिए खोल सकते हो सर?
नहीं, sorry, I cannot help you at the moment. There is no point of discussion. Let's discuss after the class. Okay, so anyone, what is the prototype? What is a prototype in interaction design? I mean, so given that these are type of prototypes are there, so how these prototypes can help you? Anyone?
So like they tell us the general overview how the final product will be. Like it, like as we say, design is an iterative process, right? So like a prototype is like a saying that this is our progress, and if we want to make any changes, we can make the changes to that prototype itself. Like on and on we go over that prototype itself. That will only be turned into the final product in the end.
Okay. Okay, that's nice actually. So we'll go into more details. Why prototype? Basically, it helps you in evaluation and feedback, which basically the stakeholder while using can give you. Stakeholder basically can see, hold, interact with a prototype and more easily than a probably document and probably just a drawing. So team members can also communicate effectively to see which part they are working on, which part they can improve, where basically the most of the issues they can see, and so on. Similarly, ideas can be tested out, and prototype encourage reflection and important of the aspect of design, because encourages reflection in the sense how you'll see the people are responding to some feature, whether they are facing some issue with using some component and so on. So prototype basically answer question and support designer to choose between alternative, because what you can do, you can different prototypes, different alternative, you can show to different people and see where probably users are more satisfied. Okay, so I believe Mohit, is that Mohit wanted to ask something?
Yes, sir. I couldn't get the meaning of the lump of wood from the previous slide.
Which one?
A lump of wood, for instance, Palm Pilot.
A lump of, it's more like, you can say you have some Palm Pilot or something you can hold in your hand and will show like, it's a system which this is the way you probably will use. So it's like Palm Pilot in a sense. For example, you can see, probably some handhold device that you can hold in your hand and can try.
Sir, how will we use this prototype in a PowerPoint?
So in a PowerPoint, you can add a lot of details, right? So that could be in terms of videos, in terms of sketches, because what you do in sketches, right, will show how the whole flow of the communication is done. So in the slideshow as well, you can provide all the details, right? So so this will be the overall flow of the system, how it will start, and probably and so on. It's basically the extension of these details, right? So you have sketches. So you have sketches on the paper. How about you just put all the sketches now in those PowerPoint slide, one after then another, right? So PowerPoint basically give you another flexibility, additional feature through which you can make it more clearer, or you can explain in better ways. Have I answered your question?
Yeah, sir. Yes.
Okay, great. So I believe this answered why prototype, because prototype can help you in many other ways. So there are several types of prototype you can build. So you can build a low fidelity prototype. So it uses a kind of medium which is unlike the final model. So it means it won't be, for example, right now you are using a smartphone, right? So in case of smartphone, in real prototype, or probably the real system will be you will be holding smartphone. But in low fidelity, it could be, for example, just a wood, or probably just a piece of paper. You're holding a piece of paper and say, okay, this is the mobile. How you're going to tell. So since it's it could be simply a cardboard as well. So it's kind of is a quick, cheap, and probably easily changeable, because easily change, because sometimes you'll see, okay, it can basically work like that. So can anybody give me example how the low fidelity basically can basically help the designer to make some decisions?
Yes, sir. Sir, low fidelity basically help the designer in such a way they can get the sequence how they want to go basically before going to final product or final prototype.
Right. So,
Sir, like
Bhagesh.
So like I don't know about the professional people, like, but when we were discussing about the low fidelity prototype, what like when it helped us in such a manner, like we were discussing frames. So for instance, if we have already decided on what frames we want to add, but we are not sure about the positioning or the way the frames will occur, like what will be the flow of execution and how the app will show different frames on basis of inputs. That can be easily framed by using the low fidelity prototype, because once you make the prototype in software, then it's quite tedious job. But if you are using something like a whiteboard, you can easily just rub it off and start over again. So
very nice. Yeah, so these are some examples. As you rightly mentioned, it could be just post-it, or probably the whiteboard you mentioned, you can write and probably just erase and so on. Similarly, the storyboard, it's a kind of series of sketches that you are drawing in order to show how a user might progress through a task using the product. So for example, through the storyboard, you can show, the people will start holding probably in order to order something through the, so for example, e-commerce website, the person will hold basically the mobile phone, and then probably open the app. Then once open, then it will come to the sketch, the launch page of the app. and then probably you'll show some cells and the person will select the item. And once the item is selected, you can proceed to probably, it will add it to the cart. And once it is added to the cart, you can probably select the probably all the address and probably payment details and do the progress payment, right? So in a way, you're going to show in a kind of series how user is going to progress in order to complete a task. Yeah, someone is there?
Yes, sir. So, low for fidelity prototype, it can be a rough diagram.
It can be a rough diagram. Yeah, you're right.
Okay, sir.
Okay. So often used with a kind of scenarios. So if you recall, in the last class we discussed about scenarios in a way, like what are the ways of probably the context or the situation under which probably the person is going to use it. So it's basically help in bringing in more details and chance to basically role play. So examples are storyboard. So for example, in this case, the person walks up to the hill. So you can just draw something like that. So in a way, I mean, probably here you want to show the person is also listening the music. So that's why probably you've done a sketch like, okay, so he's wearing the headphone or something. I don't know. I mean, similarly, probably the person is probably holding laptop or mobile or whatever. I probably climbing. In this way, in a way, basically you can show what is happening on. So like here, the Christina scrambles to the highest point. So probably once the person reached to the highest point, he scrambled, right? Something like that. Similarly here, the person basically choose the personal preferences and probably some details. And here basically the person is storing. So you can, in a way, there are different ways you can sketch it just to depict or at least inform user what is going on. And accordingly, you can create a storyboard. So it's basically a sequence of sketches, sequence of event that you are illustrating. So these are in sketching basically. It's basically people use some practice symbols. For example, this is very common symbol for a person, right? Similarly, this is very common symbol for probably it's I itself, by the way. So this is give the direction like, okay, give, probably receive or transfer, or if you are happy, if you are probably digital devices, you can think of. So again, so these sketches need not necessarily has to be very realistic or probably very clear, but at least it should convey the information that you're willing to. Right? Similarly, I mean, this is the sound, and it's better to make it standardized, because if some person is making eyes, probably eyes like that, but some people probably just write eye, or some people, I don't know, I mean, show in some other ways, it won't look like eye, but it will look like probably tomato, right? Something that you need to be careful while doing all. So in the sketching, I mean, it's good to use some simple symbols or probably the standard symbol, which help, because if someone is draw like this, I believe everyone is aware, okay, so probably we are indicating some person, like having 2 legs, probably 2 hands, and probably head and so on, right? So these are some index card based prototyping.
Can you explain the last point at the last slide? Yeah.
What?
Don't inhibit it about drawing ability practice symbol. So sir, just like showing the symbol like a low fidelity program, that what to do in this prototype.
Yeah, so basically, because when you are going to do something, right? So that activity involve probably some people, some device, probably some activity, and so on. So through the sketch, how you can give. Similarly, you can give something, you can receive something. So in order to show all those flow, it's kind of, you can say the pipeline, or you can say it's kind of flow chart or something, right? So flow chart is an example of kind of sketching, right? How the different information from one person to another, or probably one device to probably other person and so on is being transferred and probably shared. So this is example you can think of. So like in this case, where do you want to go? So here basically the person just done a sketch, right? Or probably just write. So here it looked like a drop down option, right? So when the person click here, okay, so when the person click here, so it will probably show you a number of options you can do. Similarly, when your password was issued, my password was issued in. So here probably when you click, you will get a kind of country name where probably you need to select. Similarly, here probably you can give them, I mean, you need to do a selection. So like, where are you going? So you, why are you going? So here basically you can give the 3 purpose, like tourism, business, or probably passing through, and you can select. So accordingly, these are some, you can say the some sketches, or probably the low fidelity. But what will be the corresponding high fidelity? It will be a working page where, I mean, when you click this, so all the options will come up, you'll select those and so on, right? Okay, so the next is like Wizard of Oz prototyping. So basically in this case, it will be kind of simulation which is happening. So for example, even the user will test some functionality which is not implemented yet, right? So for example, for one example is this, like here the person who is probably trying some website or something, and here basically he asks some information. So he assumed that he is interacting with the computer and the computer will respond back. But what happening is here, so behind the computer there is a human who is basically manually helping. So to the user, it looked like he's interacting with the computer, but in fact, there is a one person who is behind the probably computer who's manually responding this, and he gets. So in this way, I mean, you can uh, again build a prototype, but again, it's a prototype which you are probably not doing much in terms of providing the feature, but the user get an intuition that it is happening, right? So what is the wrong with this approach, by the way? Anyone?
The computer might not be able to give responses as a human would do, because
Exactly.
humans can think
Exactly.
about
So right
different
now,
questions.
yeah. So right now, for example, when you ask the computer, so he responded very well because it's a human, right? And probably even also consider the sentiment, or probably it basically for console the student. For example, he write, "I'm frustrated. I'm not able to do anything." Right? If it would be a human, okay, so he will say, oh, he will console, okay, it's okay, it's fine, you can do it. He can encourage, probably, and so. But computer won't do so, right? So the expectation would be very different, right? The user will think, I mean, when he will start using it, he will get all those features. But since you are now later replacing the human by computer, the computer has its own limitation and its own basically the feature. So in that case, the project and probably the product may not fulfill the expectation of the student users. So that's why, I mean, the high fidelity probably give a closer view as compared to the low fidelity. So what you do in high fidelity, so it uses probably the materials, what you'd expect to be in final product. So for example, now, if again, let's take an example of e-commerce product. So here now, rather than giving a wood smartphone, or rather than I will be giving a just paper smartphone, I will give you a real smartphone. And probably now you are able to open the app, right? So earlier you were just playing with probably sketches or probably dummy products. So now here basically you have some product which can basically may also perform some functionality, if not fully, if not everything, at least the user at least can play around or at least play with. So prototyping looks more like a funnel system than a probably low fidelity version. High fidelity prototypes can develop by the integrating existing hardware software components. So often what happens, so for example, let me give you an example. I want to build a system like Alexa, right? So as I told you earlier, how the Alexa work in such a way, when you speak something, so that speech is converted to text. Once the information is there in the text, you can do all the processing and probably get the answer again. So that answer will be in the text. In order to reply to user, that text will be again converted to the speech, right? So in a way, Alexa or probably the Amazon need to have all these functionalities, right? So suppose you want to build this system. So what you do, but at the moment you are working on it and you don't have the capability of speech to text or probably the text to speech system. I mean, the processing part probably you have, right? So one possibility, rather than building your own speech to text or probably text to speech system, you may use some existing hardware or probably the software or probably the APIs. Anybody know what his API is? What API is?
So I think these are using websites like to integrate some already existing product. Like suppose I want to use Google Maps in my website. So like I can just use the API instead of like creating my own
What is the
maps.
full form of API? Anyone? I mean, you'll be keep using API in the next
So
probably rest
API
of
is
the.
Application
application
programming
programming
interface.
interface, and basically it is used when I used to basically integrate some service in my application, but I don't really want to develop the service. For example, Abhi gave the example of Google Maps. Say I want to have the maps feature, but it is like really expensive. It would be really expensive for me to develop a whole new mapping system and, like, do all the works. Like I can just uh,
pay some money to the Google company and then use their maps in my own application. And this way, like both companies are benefiting. Google is getting the money and I am getting the service.
Right, right. Yeah, very right. Okay, so nice. So yeah, very, very, very well said. So it's more about something it is not feasible for you to probably implement something or probably have that system feature with you. In that case, you can kind of outsource it, right? You can probably get the kind of already kind of built system and probably connect with your system. Sometimes you do that for probably prototyping. So for example, we are working with a company. So in order to convince their customer that it is doable, what they have done, they simply just use APIs, existing APIs, which are not allowed for commercial uses, right? So there are a number of such APIs, right? So or whatever the APIs or probably the libraries which are publicly available, they may or probably may not allow you to use it for commercially. So for building prototype, definitely you can use it because you're not launching it, right? But once the prototype is ready, once probably that you think there is a business possibility, so in order to use it for commercially, you need to take the commercial permission. Sometimes these commercial licensings are very costly. You don't want to do so, right? In that case, you want to build your own. And in that case, I mean, you can see the difference between the prototype and the actual building, right?
Also,
so that's why you do a number of compromises in building prototype, because often you probably use some, one example I already given, right? So for example, there's some library or API which are available only for research purpose or only for just personal purpose, but not for the commercial purpose, right? So in that case, the person can use those APIs and probably build a prototype and show the customer and convince in getting the money. Okay, so we can build it by your own, and accordingly you can do so. So in whole process, sometimes you do compromises because often you may not have access to the user, you may not have all the probably kind of resources and so on, right? So that's why you lose out, or probably you throw away some feature, or probably you throw away some probably the detailed information for a given product. So that's why there are two common type of compromises we do. So one most important, you can say the popular compromise is horizontal. So when you say horizontal, it means you are basically focused on the width. When I say the width, basically, for example, if your proposed product probably have 10 features, right? So here basically you'll try to provide all 10 features. Here basically you try to provide all 10 features, but you won't go into the details of all those features. It may not have that much functionality. So here basically you're touching everything, but you're not doing anything in details, right? Similarly, in vertical one. So for example, we have given, suppose that there are 10 features in the system. So here we won't touch on all 10. What we do, we just probably touch one or two and go into even for the detail in a great details for that, so that the people can focus on the depth of whatever the feature you have and probably go into and probably practice more. So I hope you can see the difference between horizontal and vertical. So here the idea is touch everything, but don't go into details. Vertical is don't go into details. I mean, don't touch everything, even just touch one, but do into probably as much as detail as you can. So these compromises basically can basically help in understanding what the user want, what are the feature, convince probably the stakeholder, probably everyone. Yeah, so someone is there.
Sir, the beta version that some application release is a high fidelity prototype or something after high fidelity prototype.
So you can say again, so definitely it is beyond high fidelity, or you can say it is it's basically very close to the, or you can say it's the next version of the you can say high fidelity, or sometimes you can also call it high fidelity, because sometimes it's very hard to find the boundary, right? Until the product has not been launched, right? It's not a product, right? Until that you are still testing. So you can call it kind of high scale, high fidelity prototype, right?
Okay.
So in order to doing the prototyping, you need to design your system, your product. So you need to do the modeling of all those. So the first part is called conceptual modeling. So it is basically an outline of what people can do and with the product, and what concepts are needed to understand and probably interact with it. So basically it basically emphasizing on understanding what is the problem space, what is the current requirement of the user, and accordingly you can provide. So conceptual design is more abstract level of the product, how it is being used and so on. Probably you don't provide much greater details and so on. So creativity and brainstorming techniques are there in order to do the conceptual modeling. So it basically also help you in considering different alternatives. So based on the scenario and the prototypes scenario, basically you can build a prototype and probably a number of alternatives you can propose, and accordingly you can take the one which is suiting everyone need, right? So this is the example you can think. So here probably the person is having, I believe, the medicine or something, or he is eating something, right? And he is probably taking care of, I mean, what is going on. Are you probably eating without, you're not allowed to eat, but you're eating or something? So these are some scenarios that you have. You want to control. So for example, no one is probably taking food from fridge without asking. You can think of other scenarios around that, right? Similarly, empathizing with users. So this is the old man, probably he has difficulty in walking or running. How you can basically design a suit which can help this person in running, right? So you need to think about all those in order, and that can be done before launching this product. So for example, in this case, I hope this answered your question. So this might be ready, right? This product is kind of ready, but it's kind of beta testing is happening right now. Before launching to the actual user, you want to try probably a number of old age people to see whether it's too heavy, and get the feedback. So like one feedback you can get, probably it's too heavy. Despite I'm able to walk, but it is too hot, and I'm unable to wear probably all this jacket and so on. So I mean, in that case, I mean, probably the developer can come up with additional solution and design and so on. So like when I was in Japan, right, I saw news. So it was very hot. So what they have done in the jacket or probably in the shirt, they put fan, small fan, so that they won't feel hot. I mean, all these kind of innovations is based on the requirement, based on the issues people are facing. So if you recall, we have discussed earlier the interface metaphor as well. So in case of interface metaphor, because this help, basically it helps the user to understand the familiar knowledge they have in the new knowledge in a way. It's more like they try to do some analogy, the way basically interact. So for example, the browsing, how the browsing terms come in, right? So or probably searching, right? So how the searching comes in, right? Because if we have to search something, find something, we basically go and probably open all the information, all the document that you have, and finally find the correct document you're looking for, right? So interface metaphor, or probably whatever the metaphor that we use in the system. So for example, searching, right? So searching is an analogy and help you to understand because what this feature is providing. Similarly, in the prototype, you can use this interface metaphor to make the user understand in a better way. So again, so you can sometimes metaphors are good, sometimes they are not. They not be sometimes very clear. In that case, you also need to evaluate these metaphors, how structured they are, whether they are helping you or not. So there are 3 steps: understand the functionality, identify the potential problem areas, and finally generate the metaphor. So I believe we are running out of time. So I want to stop here. The remaining slides I will cover in the next class. Any question until here?
Sir?
Yeah, Bhagesh.
So like if we are using like some services by a third party company and like it is not directly taking any data from the user, but that API or the company service that we are using might take some data. So now at that time we are at an like intersection of that ethicalness, right? Because if the company is misusing the data, then we are the representatives who are leading the user to that, service. So at that time, is it our duty to, in order to inform the user about the repercussions or how their data is being used, or it's the responsibility of the companies whose services we are using?
No. So because you need to inform user, because the client or probably the user are buying your product, right? If something in the background you are using third-party services, then it is your duty to understand what are the implications, what might be the issues, and you need to inform. So that's why in the clause or probably terms and condition, you need to mention that. Again, I mean, for these companies, for these third-party companies, you are the client, right? So you need to negotiate, or probably you need to understand the same thing the way the client is doing with you, right? So that everyone will be on the same page and everyone is clear. So for example, if you're using kind of Google API to do speech to text transcription, right? So Google have to declare, or probably you need to ask, okay, so after the transcription, you're not going to use my audio recording in any other ways, right? So yeah, so users should be well informed about this.
Also, sir, like if I'm like, for example, in many services that you are seeing in many apps, it is written at the bottom, like powered by Google, or like services provided by Google. So like we need to put it like if we are implementing a service like speech to text or map for that matter, then we should put it where the service is being used, that this service is being provided by the another company. So use your like you should use it accordingly. If you don't want anything to be, if it is a private content, and if we are telling them that it might be used for other purposes also, so we need to keep user in constant reminding, like this data might be used for other things.
Exactly. Yeah, so user should be well informed, so there is no doubt.
No, sir, so it is our responsibility to keep reminding again and again, right?
So I mean, that has some business issue as well, right? So if you're going to inform user again and again, so user again, so if there is changes in the terms and condition, definitely you should do, and that's why all companies do. But until all the things are remain same, nobody is going to bother or probably inform you, because that may disturb user, and secondly, that may create some doubt in the user mind. Okay, so why you are reminding me again? And is there something wrong, something fishy, right? So it's a very usual practice. If something changes, so for example, if you use Apple, right? I mean, they keep pushing some such message. Okay, so this might have changed, terms and condition change, and so on. So yes, if something changes, then inform. Otherwise, no.
Okay, sir. Sir, and sir, last doubt, sir, like this week Monday's class was cancelled, so the 5, 6, 7 groups will have it on Saturday, no? Because the deadline has also increased. So discussion of the project.
Yeah, we will have class. We will have class on Saturday.
No, that discussion will take place on Saturday only, no, not any other day in the week. Project discussion that you said with the
which
sir, he's asking of the tutorial. They're supposed to have tutorial.
Tutorial discussion is already, I mean, the posted, right? So for some groups we'll be having today. Some group, I believe it's already happened. I don't know. So on the Google Classroom, the TS have already mentioned, right? So since we did not had, yeah, like Bhagesh for our group, it is today. Preeti is referring.
Okay, sir. Okay, got it.
So because I believe you mentioned, right? So if it would have been on Saturday, it will be too late for you. That's why we preponed it.
No, sir, I thought you extended the deadline till Sunday. So
I did both actually. I did both. I also extended the deadline and also preponed it, so that whatever the doubts are, probably you also have enough time to work on it.
Yes, sir. Thanks a lot, sir. Okay.
Sir,
yes,
like just as we are about to we're on the way of making that high level prototype, right? High fidelity prototype. So today we learned a lot about the compromises, like the vertical and horizontal. So do you encourage that we should do it?
Yeah, because you cannot complete everything, right?
Yeah,
because in a way you are just building a prototype. So despite you want, you cannot complete everything. So of course you need to do some compromises in a sense. So for example, if you're 10 features, for probably something you can probably consider horizontally, something probably you can cover vertically, and so. So it all depends on how much you can complete.
Yeah. Even we are having too many functions in just like
sure.
one screen. Okay, thank you. Because I was just asking, like I thought it has to be exact equal as what except the functioning of the final product. I thought so.
No. I mean, if it is final product, then it's not prototype, right? It's a
Yeah,
revision.
yeah. Thank you.
Okay, so who will be presenting today?
So group 2_3, Shubham Das. Can you make Shubham Das?
So group 1_6, Ronit.
Sir, group 7.
Group 7.
Okay, so after Shubham, who is the next? Shubham, please share your screen. And who's the next group after Shubham?
Yes, sir.
Ronit.
Nakul.
RONIT. Ronit.
Ronit. Okay. Okay, so Ronit, you can go next. Who's the next? Who's the last group? I believe.
Satyam.
Satyam, I made you co-host. You can go last.
Sir?
Yeah, yes.
So we not inform the group discussion for the group 1, 2, 3 maybe. I am from group 1. So is it necessary to take the tutorial class? Because we have the...
For group 23, it's already on Wednesday, right? It's already today. So, I mean, as per the schedule.
But we have not informed because in the Google class.
No, why you need to inform? It is already on the Wednesday, right? I mean,
yeah,
whatever because the changes were there for the student who has tutorial on Monday, right? There was no class. So that's why there was change in the years. For you, is it is as it is?
Yeah, okay. Yes.
Okay, please go ahead.
Good afternoon, everybody. We are group 2_3 today in front of you to present the concept of our app, Take Me There. Next slide. Our central ideology while thinking about the app was DIY travel. You can essentially make your trip in a way you like based on your preferences with the help of our AI-based assistant and its intelligent suggestions. We aim to provide cost-effective, properly planned trip based on your preferences. Next slide. The main problems while we travel can be not able to find the perfect accommodation according to your liking. The food we prefer may not be available. The dietary requirements may not be fulfilled. The tourist places we would like would not have been a part of our trip due to improper planning. Worry not, because we are here with our app, Take Me There, to take care of your next trip. Next slide. So we've already discussed some problems while we travel, and here is a small video for you.
Chicken kolhapuri, mutton rogan josh. Can I have a chicken Hyderabadi, please?
Okay, sir.
Thanks.
So hey guys, for the introduction to app, I would like to tell you some features. Our app supports end-to-end planning with AI-based selection and proper timeline to save your time. Our app supports multilingual language. So if you don't speak the common languages, don't worry, we've got your back. On our app, you will find best deals on flights, hotels, and restaurants. And we support 24/7 helpline number if you're facing any issues on our app. Next slide. As for our unique propositions, through our app, you could select recreational activities, efficient mode of transportation to make your trip memorable. Also, our app is linked through Google Maps and will side by side show you sightseeing spots. Next slide.
Now, the question arises, why our app is different from the other apps? It is because our application gives you a complete timeline of a day-to-day on a step-by-step basis concerning the preference given by the user, made by our own AI software.
Hello, I'm going to talk about usability principles. There are basically 5 types of usability principles. First, effective to use. In this, our app works well, saves a lot of time, energy, and results are indeed also very good. Second, safe to use. Users can access the app without thinking much about the bad consequences or experiences. Third, having good utility. Users can utilize the app according to their needs. Fourth, easy to learn. App follows easy functions such that a dumb person will also be able to use it precisely. Fifth, easy to remember. user don't feel any hesitation or anxiety if she wants to use the app for the second time. Basically, all users can access the app for n number of time, and all this will eventually lead to a good user experience. Next slide.
Now we come to the double diamond design. First, we discovered the problem. We all love to travel, but the overwhelming information available on the internet these days can lead us to an unsatisfactory travel experience. Sometimes the accommodation is not the best, or we may not get the preferred food of our required dietary requirements. Then we went to define our focus in particular areas. We focus the things that affect a lot of people to enlarge our target base. Our app provides services from booking flights and hotels to ordering food at your home. We also minimize the travel complexity through our AI-based travel suggestions. For developing solutions, we went on to design a web-based interface and also a mobile application. Next slide. Now, we took design principles into consideration while designing our interfaces: visibility, feedback, constraints, consistency, and affordance. Buttons are clearly labeled and icons are universal, so the visibility of our app is top-notch. The feedback is also very nice. Various pop-ups explain the role of buttons and photos when we cursor over them. Now, for constraints, we have made the certain restrictions on our app for safe use and good UX. The consistency of the UI of our app is similar to other booking apps, and the general sense is of like e-commerce shopping websites. Now, the affordance of our app is also very nice. The graphical elements like buttons, icons, links, and photos appear in obvious in the reviews. Next slide.
So here is the prototype of our app. As soon as the user log in with his account, the app will start suggesting the user some of the best deals and offers of a trip. A preference form is also given so that the user can be notified when there is a good deal on his destination.
Thank you very much, and have a nice answer.
Thank you so much. Very nice presentation. So in the interest of time, so if you have any questions, please ask over the chat. So next group, please share your screen. And before you share screen, this is just a summary of today's quiz. And okay, so next group,
so can you please make me the co-host again? I got disconnected.
Wait a second.
Sir, could you show the summary again?
Okay, sure. Not an issue. So this is the summary again. Ronit, I made you co-host.
Okay,
You can
share it.
Yeah, you can please share your screen.
Okay, am I audible to everyone?
Yes, please go ahead.
Hello.
Yes, you are audible.
So, good morning, one and all present here. Today, I, Ronit Aryan, is here with my group mates of group 1_6, Nakul Periwal, Saurabh Jaiswal, and Shivam Kumar. We are here to present our new product, Prayogshala. Now, what is Prayogshala? So, let me introduce you all to our product. So, as we all have been using Tinkercad for our DC subject, as obviously everything is online, but as you might have observed, there are particular drawbacks of using Tinkercad. So with our product, we are introducing this new item which you can use to make models in design, electronics, and 3D. As we all know, like electronic components are expensive. Okay, not everyone can afford them, and they kind of break very easily, and they are also a bit dangerous to use, especially around kids. So with our new simulation model, we can do all of that offline on your computer without paying any kind of money. So now let's talk about the drawbacks of our competitors.
Yeah, so before laying the foundation of our application, we firstly considered all the drawbacks which are present in our competitors. Right now, our major competitors are Tinkercad and CircuitWorks. The major drawback which is present in CircuitWorks is, first of all, that it doesn't provide a field of 3D simulation, which is too much required for the implementation of any type of circuit. And second thing, that the user interface of CircuitWorks isn't that appealing, due to which users aren't able to develop a proper interest. And while talking about Tinkercad, there is no option for copying only the subcomponents of a workspace. And also, once a complete circuit is assembled, and if you try to move breadboard in a Tinkercad, then the whole circuit gets mingled up and it gives a very bad look to the circuit. And also in both these apps, there is no suggestion for optimization of the circuit. Next slide, please. So like here are the results of a survey which we conducted about the problems faced by people in Tinkercad and CircuitWorks. So the major problem which was faced in Tinkercad is that the students were not able to copy the components which are used. And in CircuitWorks, the major problem was that there is no use of multicolor wires. So due to which there is a lot of confusion while building the circuit. Next slide, please. So yeah, now it's come that what is special about our product. So from learning all the mistakes which were created by our competitors, now we have taken care of all of them. First of all, we will take care of the 3D simulation field, which is too much necessary for our application. We will also be using multicolor wires so that the debugging features in our application can be enhanced. And also there will be options for copying only subparts of a particular workspace. And we will also take care of the user interface and keep it as much appealing as much we can. And there will also be some enhanced functionality so that the components can be found easily in the application. And we have also enabled the dark mode so that the user experience can be improved. And there will also be some suggestions for optimization of the circuit so that there can be least usage of number of wires and the circuit also gets a clean look. So from here onwards, Shivam will talk about the double diamond design of our application.
Next slide, please. Now coming to double diamond approach. Discovering the problem means what was the problem in existing software, and we go deep inside the problem to not to replicate it. And we found it through our surveys, which we have mentioned in our previous slides. Now that we understand what the customers feels, we began to focus on key areas. Like we found many drawbacks in existing applications, and we selected few of them which should be completely changed. Now coming to developing. We have discovered and defined the problem. The next step is to make and develop a new applications which can meet to desired requirements and should have better specifications. Now on the last step, delivering our product to user and listening to them. How are they experiencing our product and how they find our product good compared to others? Suggest any changes which can be used for betterment of our applications. Next slide, please. Now the design principle is the most important aspect to apply for a concept to apply for developing an extraordinary product. The first design principle is visibility. It helps the users to know how to use different inputs present in a surface. Here, using of different color wires helps to enhance visibility and make users able to explore the platform in an efficient way, like use of icons and symbols and different colored wire to enhance visibility. And the next design principle is feedback. Sufficient feedbacks also help the users to know what had been done and accomplished, like change of color of wires to show whether the current is passing through it or not, the LED is bursting, what was meant for that, and top sound when next slide, please. Now next design principle is consistency. Now coming to the we try to maintain consistency in our product within itself, and also it relates with many existing software. Like we take good points from Tinkercad, that Tinkercad and CircuitWorks, that they maintain a consistency. All devices are grouped under the types like ICs are together. Now here onwards, the next two design principles will be covered by Saurabh.
Next slide, please. Constraints. Constraint refers to showing only essential things to the user and hiding all the unnecessary stuff. We have implemented it by dividing the application into two parts, one for beginner and other for professional. We would only show the basic components in the beginner section so as the user can easily use the product without feeling overwhelmed by all the sophisticated things. Whereas in the professional section, all high-tech components would be present. The next design principle is affordance. It refers to the attribute of an object that allows people to know how to use it. We have applied the affordance by prompting the name of the element whenever a user hovers the mouse over it, so that the user can easily know what the thing is. Next slide, please. Accessibility and inclusiveness. We have used inclusive design in our product to make it accessible to everyone. The greatest thing is that the product is free, so anyone can use it easily. Anyone who wants to test their physical circuit before actually making it can use the product and make it virtually in Prayogshala. We have also provided the feature to add wires of different colors, and also they are annotated so that the colorblind people can also use it very easily. We have also made the use of voice-based control for making connections. Like the user can say, join the pin of this IC to the positive side of the LED. So we discussed what our product is, how it's unique, and also compared it to our competitors. We used the double diamond approach to make our product. We also discussed all the design principles applied to it. Also, we have used inclusive design to make it accessible to everyone. So thank you, and we are now open for questions.
Many thanks, Saurabh and team. It's a wonderful presentation. So again, in the interest of time, I request the last group to share your screen and present. And any questions for this group, please ask in the chat box. Thanks.
So shall I start presenting? Actually, share screen, right?
So who will be sharing the screen?
Satyam. Me.
Satyam, please share your screen.
Sir, in our group, there are only 3 members, sir. One, Rajkumar has left Triple IT, and about Renal, we don't know if he's still in Triple IT, but he's not
unresponsive of any message.
Yes. Hey, so okay, but what is the issue? Are you presenting or not? That's my question.
Yes,
no, sir. We are just.
So please share. I mean, that's fine. Who left? That's fine. I mean, 3. I was reading a message, right? उसमें लिखा था कि you think it like मैं काफी अकेला हूँ. Just change it to मैं अकेला काफी हूँ, right? So it's fine. I mean, whatever you can do is fine. I mean,
sir,
we're not grading you, right?
We are not saying like that, sir. We are telling it just because when you will give the marks, then the marks would
just... Yeah, you know this from the beginning, right? So 3 people is more than enough to do at least whatever the project is given. Please continue. Yes.
Hello.
Satyam, are you sharing screen? I'm not able to see screen so far.
Hello.
Satyam, are you there? It seems Satyam has somehow dropped from the call. Anyone else from the group want to share?
Sir, 1 minute, I'm just asking. Sir, he has an internet problem. He's just come. Just 1 minute.
Okay, no issue.
Sorry, sir, I'm back. Actually, some problem was there, small problem. So can I share, sir, can you make me the co-host so that I can share
Yeah,
the screen?
Satyam, I made you co-host again. Please share your screen.
Okay, thank you. So is the screen visible?
Yes, please go.
So we are group 7-5. This is our presentation. The group 7-5 consists of me, Jaskaran Singh, Rahul Raj. So, sir, we have made an app which is a doorstep solution for all your real estate related problems, and we have named our app as the Zimmedar app. So, sir, what is Zimmedar and why is Zimmedar? Zimmedar is an app which is made to resolve any kind of issues related to property, be it sale, purchase, rent, detailed analysis, general info, document info, etc. Even a child in India nowadays knows what are the big three when it comes to minting money through investment. They are gold, stock share, and property. We have seen a lot of digitalization in the above two fields, but property remains untouched with one or two failed tries though. Till today, we rely upon dealers when it comes to anything related to property. This is why real estate has grown into such a huge and profitable business. This is our app logo, the real estate app. Now that's the point on which we intend to directly hit upon. Real estate is a business in which investment is too high, especially in the field of sale purchase. Therefore, people try to take no risk and still rely on the old-fashioned culture of property dealing. People don't know much about the rates of the area in which they are planning, and any sort of investment, be it sale, purchase, rental, neither do they know what is really best for them. Many a times people get scammed by dealers. They are persuaded in buying wrong type of land, for example, farming land for housing, etc., or fallacy in the agreement papers, be it rental, etc. But Zimidar protects you from all such kind of things and provides you everything that you need while just sitting at your comfort place. Let's see how in the upcoming slides. We won't discuss about design principles. Your midterm marks are proof that you know them. So directly jumping on our idea. Area-wise statistics. Under this tab, our app will provide the detailed area-wise analysis in both the ways, be it on the map or in a listed format, which would basically be detailed analysis containing the present rate and the previous rate, which may be arranged in a pictorial or a graphical way. There would be a rate which would be shown, like if the property has been increasing, or be it rent or sale, that doesn't matter. Then the rate would be shown in green color, or otherwise it would be shown in red color, very basic. When you click on this tab, you'll find a search bar and two sub tabs beneath it. Initially, the listed format would open by default and only the please enter an area would be appearing on the white background. There would be a search bar on the top in which the user shall enter the area he or she is looking for, and then a pop-up would appear asking for the reason like rent or purchase. After inputting another pop-up asking for the type of land the user is seeking, like for industrial purposes, commercial, residential, farmland, etc. If the user chooses residential, especially for this case, then he or she will again be asked for type, that is flat or plot. If flat is chosen, then again one thing will be asked, housing society or independent. These are some of the prototypes from which we inspire our app to be like, these are available on the net, but we are thinking to build our interface on these bases. So over to Jaskaran.
So this is only in the case of residential. Rest in all cases, the input is shown directly. Then the current average per square yard rate will be shown along with the growth rate. The map would already be adjusted to through the backend processes. There would also be a toggle bar just beneath the search, which would appear just after the user entered a choice, which would keep a track of all the options entered by a user, separated by a less than symbol. And whenever the user tries to go back by clicking on the respective option, he or she will be taken back. And again, a pop-up will appear to continue from there with a new choice set. Next slide. There would also be a paid feature, which is that we will have a monthly subscription, and the users which subscribe would get an expert analysis. Means that they can get an expert review about any property in the map, along with the rates. Like what are the reasons for which the property is going up? Is it a good place to invest, or is the rate about to go down, etc. They would also get access to weekly or monthly podcasts done by our experts, covering every major development in the real estate sector during that week or month. Paisa hi paisa hoga. The revenue generated from this subscription and ads would be our source of income to counter the expenditure, and don't forget the funding. Now the information that you need. Under this tab, you can get the correct information about every piece of land in India. Like the type of land, is it a farmland, residential or commercial, or about the whole type, is it freehold or leasehold. This information will be provided through the land records portal of the Government of India and through the local circular offices. It is a very easy process, as you can just need to go to the portal and download the database from there. And for some unmapped places, you can easily get the map of the district from the circular office and add it to the basics. Due to this tab, Zimmedar can safeguard you from scams and false claims by dealers and builders, which may be a significant reason for our app's popularity. So these are some prototypes for the maps that we'll use to show the maps in our app. So the availability of the properties. So Zimmedar would have a tab where just after a click on it, a pop-up would appear and you will have to choose between rent and purchase. After choosing, again a pop-up will appear, which would ask you for the area in which you want to buy or rent. Then properties would appear with some highlights about their location and the price of the property. If the user is interested, then after clicking on it, firstly an ad would appear. You are needy and we are greedy, about some housing society or etc. Then the exact location will be shown, and there would also be an option to get directions from your home to that location. There would also be a virtual home tour available along with some photos. And if you are a subscriber, then the expert review of that property would also be available. The contact information of the owner will not be shown. So if you wish to know about the property, or if you wish to get in touch with the owner, you will have to forward us a request in written or contact our agent. This option will be shown too. We will further contact the owner and tell him or her about it. So over to Rahul.
Next slide. Yeah, so these are few prototypes of the availability which were discussed by Jaskaran above. So yeah, you are right. That is what annoys you. A sweet little ad. You're free to blame Warren. Next slide. So if you click on request and you don't have an account, then our app will ask you to make one, and you won't be able to move ahead until you make one. And then if you choose via app, a form would appear in which there would be certain questions and which you have to fill, like what is your budget, your occupation, etc. All these information would be sent to the owner, and if the owner is interested, then our agent will conduct a Google Meet having the user, agent, and the owner. If the matter finalizes further, then our agent will organize a physical meet at the property where documentation must be signed by both, that if the dealer finalizes, then our company will get 2% brokerage, and if not, then nothing will be charged. Also, the document would have a clause that if you finalize without involving the company, then both the user and the owner are liable for legal charges. A total of 5 meets will be allotted to a deal, 2 physical and 3 virtual meets. If the limit is exceeded, then our company will close the deal. Next. Next slide.
So someone is actually annotating, so
yeah, don't mess with our policies. Remember the contract you signed. Next slide. Yeah, so now I'm going to talk about the home tab of our app. So the home tab of our app consists of an option, list your property, colored in red at the top middle. At the top right, there would be a sign in option, or if you have already signed in, then the profile picture would be displayed, clicking on which you would be taken to My Account tab, under which there will be your details, professional and other stuff. At the top right, there would be symbols of 3 handlebars, clicking on which a toggle would appear, under which there would be some tabs. This is regarded as more options, which would be discussed later in our slides. Next, below them, there are few exciting ads and offers of some housing societies or villas, plots, etc. Yeah, so now talking about the more options. Uh, so there would be an paper and prerequisite toggle, clicking on which we will be taken to tab where we have to enter the details like rent or sale, then the type of land, then the state, etc. And finally display a list of papers and prerequisites which are used to in that deal. Then there would be a service tab which would be available to us, which would ask your location, then the kind of people that you need. So for example, like the architect you choose, so the best architects of that area nearby you will be provided to you, and in the similar manner the Google Map works. So now talking about what is under My Account tab, the user can see his or her ID. There all his entered data would be visible, including the professional.
Rahul, please wrap it up soon.
Yeah,
Thanks.
so that's all from our side, group 7.5. Thank you very much.
So thank you so much for very colorful presentation, but sometimes it's not that much user friendly if you use so many text. So just a feedback. So try to improve on that. But anyways, thanks. Any questions for them? Okay, if not, then thanks for staying
हेलो
so
सर
late.
सर
Yeah, please.
सर मेरी क्विज नहीं हुई थी सर, वो नेट से लगा था सर
क्विज
पहले
हुई
भी
थी
बात
या तुमने दिया नहीं तो मैं क्या करूं? So drop in email. We'll see what can be done. So there is no quiz at the moment. We cannot allow you. We'll see what can be done. Thanks. Please send me an email.
सर आपको करूं?
Yes.
Sir, a small query regarding project, if you could take that.
Yeah, Manas.
Sir, actually, we filled a Google form for another group and we found out that our project idea was quite similar to them. So are we allowed to modify or change it, or should we
No,
continue?
you can
with the same?
continue doing so, right? So you are doing your own solution. They are doing their own solution.
Okay.
You will create your own sketch or prototype. They will do their own. So it's fine.
Okay. Thank you so much, sir.
Okay.
Sir, I wanted to ask one thing. Like, I told you my idea regarding that device, right? So we were making a compatibility app for that, like in order to use it in a better way. So now we introduce something like a feature for a self mode that a visually impaired person can use, and one for a assistive mode. So is it nice to accept the fact that a blind person might require somebody else's help? So there should be an assistive mode in an app, or the app, like the device should be completely designed only for the blind person.
No, assistive is fine, because just think in that way, right? Right now they have no support. If they have little support, probably they can do probably much better than earlier, and definitely independent would be the best. But I mean, sometimes before reaching to that level, yeah, you need to probably pass by through the intermediate steps, right?
Yeah, sir, like for example, entering and typing the emergency information of a person, like if they come from a shelter home or from their family members only, they can enter their information, right? Like whom to contact, some basic routes, like the location of
Yeah,
their
fine.
address,
Perfectly
something
fine.
like that.
Perfectly fine. No issue.
Yes. Thank you.
Okay. Thanks everyone. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye, sir. Thank you.